So good morning, everyone. Welcome to IJS Online Yoga Studio. I'm Cantor Lizzie Shammash. It's great to see all your beautiful faces. A couple of announcements from the Institute before we begin. Actually, first props for anyone who just hopped on, so you can get them set up as I share announcements. Today we'll have a chair and a blanket, please. And optional are a yoga belt and blocks if you've got them or want them. So I'm Cantor Lizzie Shammash. I'm coming to you from Philadelphia and so happy to be investigating Sukkot today. Couple of announcements. Text study. We start the cycle of Torah again so soon. Text study is beginning on Sunday for 5782. So join us to receive weekly teachings. We have a new teacher this year, which is exciting. Rabbi Dr. Erin Lieb-Smokler, and she's teaching on Sfat Emet. So Adi is going to share with us those links to go a little deeper into your Torah study this year. And there's also time to register for Awareness in Action, which begins October 10th with Rabbi Mark Margolius. Awareness in Action, cultivating character through mindfulness and midot. So please, if you're enjoying IJS, look into these wonderful options. And as usual, we are here every day free of charge for our daily sit at 12:30 to 1 p.m. Eastern Time in the U.S., Monday to Friday, as well as yoga every Monday. Here you are, and Torah study on Tuesdays. Okay, I think that's it for the announcements. Let us begin. So have a seat in your chair. We'll begin, I'll just show you from the side, why not? We'll begin with a little bit of cat and cow, little nod to the lulav as spine, as representative of spine, as we start to look towards this holiday of Sukkot, doing a little bit of arching and curling, coordinating movement and breath. So you can take this in your own time. As we inhale, we move to the front of the sitting bones and begin to arch, lift and arch the spine, sending the heart forward, maybe the throat up and the gaze up. We lengthen as we make that arch. And then as we curl, drawing navel to spine, as we drop to the back of the sitting bones, make a nice C curve with the spine, crown of the head coming forward. You take this in your own time, linking your own breath with your own movement. You can make it as small or as big a movement as you like and as you need. And right away starting to check in to your own body. What do I need today? Right, it's a little bit different every day. And if, as always, if my words are not right for you, you do you. You do you. I'm simply the tour guide. I'm just offering, let's say, the frame of the sukkah. I'm just offering the framework, but the practice is to be enlivened and made your own. So you can leave out anything you don't need. And if you're feeling a little more vigorous, you can add as feels safe and comfortable. So waving this spine lulav a couple more times, feeling the breath coming and going. And then as you're ready, bringing the spine to neutral, bringing that to a pause. And we'll take a twist. Which can either just be sort of, free and open to the side, or if you like, come to the right side of your chair and twist toward the seat of the chair. And you can use the hands, pressing with the right hand and pulling with the left to help spin the rib cage a little bit. I always try to feel the centrality of the heart, of the etrog as heart, right? Heart as etrog. as we spin, take a little clarifying twist, clarifying and purifying to the organs. And then come on back, and if you're using the chair, go to the left side. Spin to the left. And again, pressing with the left, pulling with the right hand, just gently to help you kind of come to that soft edge. Squeezing and soaking the abdominal organs. Really using that exhale. Starting to wake up or re-wake up in your day wherever you are. And then come back to center as you're ready. If you'd like, you can allow the eyes to close. Or you can just soften and fuzz out the gaze a little bit. And bring the attention to the breath. And if you'd like, you can take a hand physically to your belly or to the sides of the rib cage to kind of aid in sensation from within, feeling the breath rise and fall. Just feeling the breath coming and going, in and out. And then see if you can begin to expand the length, expand and extend the length of the inhale, just a little, nothing too taxing. And also extend the length of the exhale. This investigation of Sukkot as expansion into fullness of life. We can start right here with the breath, just expanding. Can we make the inhale a little bit longer and the exhale a little bit longer? And if it feels quite effortful, you might simply try it for one breath cycle. And then release, come back to normal, a few breath cycles, and then try again. So let it be as natural and as effortless as possible. I'm going to share a little bit of teaching. If you like, you can stay with your breath. Putting part of your attention on hearing me and part of your attention on following that breath. However you'd like to receive today. So I'm so excited to come out of Yom Kippur and into the joy of Sukkot. And here in the Northeast, we have these like bright, beautiful, sunny days. It's amazing. The moon has been incredible as it grows each day. Of course, tonight is the 15th of Tishrei as we begin Sukkot, a full moon. I'm such a geek that I was talking with my mom last night, who is in Massachusetts, and she said, "Oh, it's a full moon." And I said, "No, Mom, my moon app says full moon, but it's only 99%, and tomorrow night will be 100%. So tonight, if you get out to your sukkah and outside, and we'll see that incredible 100% moon as we come to this very embodied holiday, right? Sitting in our sukkah, and as I alluded to just at the beginning of class, seeing the lulav, pieces of lulav and etrog as body parts, as our spine, our eyes, our lips, our heart. it's such a special holiday of fulfilling these commandments with our bodies, and also coming really to the end of the cycle that began with Tisha B'Av already in like mid-July, was it, right? Of the walls crumbling and the feeling of the psyche crumbling and rebuilding and coming through the eye of the needle at Yom Kippur. And now here we are at Sukkot. I want to read to you, share a little bit from the curriculum from the Jewish Mindfulness Meditation Teacher Program of IJS. This curriculum was written by my wonderful teachers, Rabbis Sheila Weinberg, Jordan Ben-Dad Appel, and Jeff Roth. A little bit on this holiday that I just wanted to share with you. So lovely. On Yom Kippur, we achieve a small death. Through this small death, all that is not essential is seen for what it is, and we find ourselves prepared, as Deuteronomy 30, verse 19 says, to choose life so that you may live. But Yom Kippur is not the end. We arrive at Sukkot a mere 4 days after Yom Kippur, and we begin by responding to the essential question of Yom Kippur: after death, then what? Then what? Sukkot responds to that question with action. After death, we build. On Sukkot, we acknowledge that everything, including everything we build, is impermanent, right? Thus the structure of the Sukkah, impermanent. Could blow over in any rain and any storm. Yet, build we must. We conclude the season with a festival that bookends the entire season by acknowledging the impermanence of our structures and our situation, but instead of responding with mourning and despair as on Tisha B'Av, we are ready to build a life and rejoice in it. This is Zman Simchatenu, the time of our joy, the time of our rejoicing, Zman Simchatenu. And it's a time of building lives of engagement that are guided by hope and meaning. Sukkot counters the belief that we can only be happy if we solve our problems, that we can only be happy if, right? If we succeed in all of our relentless struggles to solve, to fix, to build, to grasp onto. This season reminds us that we don't know what is coming tomorrow or even in the next breath. On Yom Kippur, we tell the truth. On Sukkot, we act on it. We build a sukkah that is beautiful, but that can be blown over in a strong wind, and that has a roof that must leak if it rains. And it's fitting that we do not engage in this process alone. Rather, we're encouraged to welcome in ushpizin, our guests, both our real guests and our spiritual guests. In this way, we are reminded that the work of building a life is one that is largely relational. We cannot build a true home without others. And lastly, I'll add that this Zman Simchatenu, which we're going to investigate, is simcha, joy, and expansion, moving into this expansion with our bodies today. Finding the sukkah of the body, I will add that this idea of joy is a full joy, right? That it's not just happiness joy, but a joy felt from living our lives with complete fullness, right? As John Kabat-Zinn says, full catastrophe living. We agree on Sukkot to engage in full catastrophe living. So let's get to our practice. Remaining in the chair for one more moment, let's take the left leg and cross it over to the right, like the figure 4 that we do often on our backs. Here it is in the chair. And if it's too much to have that left knee bent, if it's too much on the hip, you can lengthen out the leg a little, reduce the angle at the hip, if that works better for you. Keep a light flex on that right foot. And you can sit up tall, just remain here. Breathe into the sensation in the right hip. Or if you'd like a little more juice, lengthen from the crown and begin to extend, to fold forward. You can play with that angle As you just really dive into the sensation in the hip. And let the low back expand. And release, come on back. Give the foot a couple circles, open up the ankle, both directions. And we'll switch sides. Crossing left over right. Notice the difference from one hip to the other. Really root those sitting bones down. And see where you need to be on this side. Right, so it might be plenty for you just to come from a collapsed low back here, just to sit up straight, maybe plenty of effort onto this hip. Or if you're more flexible, there might be quite a folding forward. So at a minimum, we want to find a length and a lift through these lower vertebrae of the lumbar and sacrum. Beautiful. And then release, and let's take some circles with this ankle, this foot, in both directions. Okie doke. We're going to start with Warrior 2, and I encourage you either on the chair or freestanding. Either option is great. I'll model for you the chair version. So the legs are wide, left toes turned in and right toes turned out, and we bend through that front knee and sit it down. So if you're taking the chair as I am, you can obviously stay for a little longer. You have this this firm foundation here for the thigh. You might want to pad up with that blanket. So you have nice opening for the knee and for the hip. And see that front ankle is right below the knee. You don't want to extend the knee past the ankle. Not good for the joints. And if you're coming in, freestanding and the thigh is starting to shake, come on in and out a couple of times. Really ground these legs. The back leg is nice and extended. Find the outer edge of the back foot. And then if you like, you can take the arms, of course, with you as well. Shoulder height, palms facing down, extend through those fingertips. Another option, you might enjoy a palm facing up version. So just offering lots of different choices here, and the gaze over the right fingertips. Let those shoulder blades really drop, making nice space through the neck. And then as you're ready, releasing, and we'll switch sides. So feet turning in the other direction. The right toes in and the left toes out. And if you are taking the chair option, same as the standing option where the front heel is going to bisect the back arch. Right? So as you roll into Warrior 2 on the other side, settling the breath into simcha. Settle the body into expansion. This full embrace of life as it is, right here, right now, the good and the bad, right? I've been through Yom Kippur. I've been through the eye of the needle. I can open up and really expand into life. And see here, as we began, can you slightly lengthen the inhale and slightly lengthen the exhale? Full heart, open chest. And as you're ready, we release. Come on up. And we'll come to mountain pose. And if you would like some support, you can stand behind the chair. You can stand to the side of the chair. Another option, we'll show you from the back. Always a nice one. You can just stand right up close to the chair in the back and take the hands around the back with the palms facing forward. It's a beautiful mountain pose option, really offering some nice stability as well as opening to the fronts of the shoulders. Ground the four corners of the heels, inner heel, outer heel. Mound of the big toe to the mound of the little toe. So there are 5 diaphragms or archways that we can line up in the body in this pose. Kind of creating this Sukhat Shalom, this canopy of peace in the body. So there's the arches of the feet. And then there's the pelvic floor. And then moving up the body, we have the thoracic diaphragm tucked under the ribs here. Then we have the throat and the soft palate, the arch of the soft palate. And then we have the archway of the skull, the top of the skull. We can line these up and bring lift to each one of those areas. Just a subtle internal idea of lift. And then that stability helps set us up for our next pose, which is tree pose. So again, feel free to take this. You could have the full body against the wall, or you can hold the chair if you would like some stability. So let's come to bring the weight over towards the right leg. Find this nice tree trunk here over of stability on the right, and then we turn out from the left hip, and we can just anchor the foot on the toes onto the floor if you like, or the ankle or the calf or above the knee. Never right against the knee, right? You never want to put pressure to the side of the knee there, or possibly all the way up toward the groins. So find your tree pose today. Find your gaze soft ahead of you. Let the leg move against the foot and the foot move toward the leg to help press inward and draw up. And then you can decide where the arms want to go, right? Maybe out, give yourself some stability this way. Maybe the palms together at the sternum. Maybe the arms overhead, palms pressing and extending. You find your tree. Once again, coming back to that breath, can you lengthen just a little the inhale and also lengthen the exhale? Zman simchatenu, time of our joy. And then as you're ready, releasing. And we'll come to the other side, shifting the weight over towards the left leg. Turning out from the right hip. Let it be easy. And again, just finding your spot. Might be different on the other side. See what the hip allows, right? Because the turnout really doesn't come from the knee. You never want to just press that knee back. You want to let that sitting bone drop under you. Let the thigh rotate externally. That's where the opening is coming, in the hip. Keep your gaze soft. Finding an even, steady, expanded breath. And then as you're ready, release. Come back to mountain pose. The feet can be together or hip width apart. Extend through the fingertips. Widen the collarbones. Soften through the back ribs. And lengthen the tailbone toward the heels. Maybe even turn up the corners of your mouth. Bring up a smile. Zman simchatenu. And we'll come, one more standing pose. We'll come to wide leg forward bend. So you might enjoy the chair in front of you. You might take blocks in front of you. You might not need either, right? Again, suggestions, options. Legs come wide. A nice measure for how wide, this pose is really the widest legs, and a nice measure is that if you extend your arms, that the ankles would be directly below your wrists. Right, that's a pretty good measure of how wide the legs ought to be in this pose. Outer edges of the feet in line with the mat, toes maybe turning in just a little bit. Take the hands to the hips. Inhale as you drop the tailbone and lift the heart. And then exhale and we fold forward from the crease of the hip, crease of the legs. Lengthen at 90 degrees, right? So you might just stay here rather than coming into the full pose. That's a perfectly beautiful, really lovely choice. Just pausing here, extending crown and tail in opposite directions. Or you might want to come all the way down on your next exhale. Crown of the head comes to the block or to the floor. Nice to have something on which to place the crown of your head. Fingertips in line with the toes, elbows drawing toward each other. lifting the tailbone as you really drop those heels down. And once again, can you find some amount of length and extension to inhale and exhale? As you're ready, releasing, pressing into the hands, lengthening the crown of the head away. Hands to the hips, press into the feet. Inhale to come up. And exhale, jump or heel toe feet together. We're going to come to the floor. And let me offer some options, because for some this will be really lovely, and for others this next bit will not be quite as enjoyable. So if your knees feel just fine and really open, you're going to come to thunderbolt, knees and feet together, and then just sitting back to the heels, right? You can take your hands and sort of open up your kneecaps a little, press your thighs down, just stay here, let the thighs get some opening, the bottom, right? If this is a no way situation for your knees, please take care of yourself. Couple options. This would be one. Take that blanket right to the back of the knee. Let the blanket rest on the calves and sit back. Gives you a little more space at the knee so you don't have so much flexion. That might be a possibility. That still, if that's still too much for you, then you can come forward to the forearms and just sit back a little bit. It's another option. Right, so be wherever you are to just get a little bit of stretch onto these thighs, a little bit of opening for the knees. And then next, a couple of options. If you're sitting in Thunderbolt happily and Child's Pose is a nice feel for you, you can extend the arms and come forward, either with the arms forward or with the arms next to you, next to your feet, palms turned up. Two Child Pose options. It's a lot of flexion for the hips. You can take that blanket and you can put it here as you come forward. And another option, again, is to work right here. You can, if you like, place the forehead into the palms, the back of the hands stacked. And if none of these options seem fitting, I invite you to just ask internally, what else would I like? Move into whatever shape your body calls for. Okay, we'll emerge from this. Take your time, and we're going to come to lie on the back. You might take that blanket and place it under your head if you like, if you want something there. If you've got the strap, it's optional. If you've got the strap, a couple of options with the strap. So we're going to take the right leg up towards the ceiling and stretch through the hamstring. And you can do it with the left leg long or with the left leg bent. Right? So if you don't have a strap, you'll take the hands and clasp them behind the right thigh. If you have a strap, two options. One is just to take either side of the strap into your hands, and you can let the strap be right at the arch of the foot, or you could also try the strap at the heel. Slightly different different activations. You can check that out. Here's another one that I love that I don't think we've done here before. Make your strap as long as it can be. I have an 8-foot, and it may only work with a longer strap. So if your strap is shorter, it may not happen for you. The strap goes under the shoulders as I've got it, and then your foot goes into the other end of the strap, and then you can take the tail and pull it down to arrange where you want the foot to be. And then you have some scaffolding here. Here's your little sukkah that you can build for yourself right here. It brings a nice reminder to the shoulder blades to rest down the back. So whichever way you take this hamstring stretch is just great. And wherever you are, let that right thigh settle away from the body. Let it draw away, right? So that there's space equal from the hip crest to the base of the rib cage, same on both sides. And then as you're ready, you'll switch sides. So left leg up in the air, right leg long or right knee bent with the sole of the foot on the floor. And as you settle in, coming again back to the breath, can I lengthen a little bit, a little more into life? The inhale, can I lengthen the exhale? Zman simchatenu. And take your time to come out as you're ready. We'll give a little bit of a hug to the knees, toward the chest. You can rock it a little bit side to side. Or take circles with the knees. Massage out the low back. You might prefer happy baby, drawing the outer edges of the feet down, holding on to the outer edges of the feet, drawing the knees toward the armpits. And then as you're ready, settling into relaxation. So it could be with the soles of the feet to the floor and the knees bent. It could be with the legs long, a traditional Shavasana. And it might be, again, with the chair, with the soles, with the lower legs, the calves onto the chair. This is always my favorite whenever I have any low back agitation or just any tiredness or soreness in the legs. Really beautiful, really in the family of inversions, to take the calves to the chair. So yogi's choice, choose your flavor. Allow the palms to face up. Remove your glasses if you're wearing glasses. Allow a full release into this embodiment. This full, bright moon. Allow yourself an extra measure of joy. as you exhale, and take a few minutes to let go. Allowing the breath to deepen. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Maybe taking your arms overhead, extending through your legs and your arms, giving a full body stretch. Nice yawn sigh. And taking your time to roll over onto one side. Gather yourself up into a fetal position. Zman simchatenu, feeling the fullness of life pulsing through you. As you're ready, come making your way back up to a comfortable seat. And coming back to the sensation of expanded inhale, expanded exhale, extended. Taking a few cycles to attend to the breath. Watching, listening. Starting to open and prepare the body for this chag, for the fullness of sitting in the sukkah, the fullness of the moon. so it can really penetrate us. Yain, hain, hanain, hain, hain. Yain, hain, hanain, hain, hain. Yain, hanain, hain, yain, hain, 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 hain. Yain, hanain, hain, 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 hain. Yain, hanain, hain, 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 hain. Yain, hain, 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 hain. The melody of Na'anuim, our ancient traditional melody for waving of love and etrog, such dignity, such lift as we move into this season. Allowing the eyes to open. Shavua Tov, everyone. Chag Sameach. Thank you for practicing. Thank you for bringing your full self to the mat and to the community, to yourself, to each other today.